So the question that has been popular amongst college football fans over the past decade: could the University of Alabama, the most dominant college football team of the past 10 years, could they actually hang in there with an NFL team? A few years ago, it was mainly asked whether or not the Alabama Crimson Tide could beat the Cleveland Browns when the Cleveland Browns went through a stretch where they won like one game in like 3 years. But this year now, it's the Miami Dolphins, the current meme of the league. And I know Clemson won the national championship last year. We've already tested it out on the channel whether or not if Clemson could beat the Miami Dolphins. But this year, man, Alabama with their talent on offense, arguably the best wide receiver core in the history of college football, is this the year the Alabama Crimson Tide could actually beat an NFL team? As today in Madden 20, we are going to find out the answer to that question. Hopefully, guys, do enjoy today's Madden 20 video, and if you do, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you are new, and turn on the notification bell so you not miss any uploads on the channel. It's going to be funny because after this weekend, the meme of the NFL could completely be shifted whether or not the Redskins beat or lose the Dolphins. So if the Redskins play the Dolphins this weekend and lose, they will become the new meme of the NFL. But currently, it's still the Dolphins. So today we are going to see if the Alabama Crimson Tide could beat the Miami Dolphins. Now, 2 questions for today's video. First of all, you guys let me know in the comment section below, who do you think wins that game? Do you think the Redskins are going to be the Dolphins or vice versa? And also, if this was to actually happen in real life, how do you think Alabama would fare? Do you think Alabama would hang in there with the Dolphins? Do you think they would get absolutely obliterated? Or do you think they would actually have a chance to beat the Dolphins? Now, when it comes to the ratings for today's roster and how I implemented Alabama's roster into a Madden 20 roster, is the players that were projected to be or are projected to be first round draft picks. I tried my best to base their ratings on how prior first round draft picks were in Madden 20 and how they were rated, especially last year. For example, like Kyler Murray, the 75 rated, he was the #1 overall draft pick. Now Quentin Williams, who actually played for Alabama last year, was an 80 overall. So I tried my best to kind of compare the talents of the current players in Alabama to how players were rated in Madden once they were drafted, whether it be the first, second, third round, fourth round, or maybe they weren't drafted at all. And I did for sure hear the criticism from the Clemson roster, so I did kind of make the roster a little bit overall than what the Clemson roster was, just because you guys think some of the players were a little bit overrated in terms of their overall on Madden. With that said, time to go over Alabama Crimson Tide roster coming in as the highest overall player on the team, and that is Mr. Tua Tagovailoa at a 79 overall, who will probably actually be playing for the team that he's playing in today's video, the Miami Dolphins, next year, as he's highly projected to be the #1 overall draft pick. And Tua, in my eyes, dude, is one of the greatest quarterbacks I've seen in my lifetime. He throws one of the nastiest deep balls I've ever seen. What does he have? 23 touchdowns right now in college football with no interceptions. He's insane. You can't argue that a big part of his success is the wide receiver core that you're going to see in just a second, but still, he's insane. Now, the running back position, backing him up is Mac Jones and his brother. I'm not even sure how to pronounce his brother's first name. I can barely pronounce his last name. But it's going to be fun to see if once Tua declares for the draft after this year, if his brother can be at least like half as good as what Tua was. Now, the running back position, Najee Harris, who's also projected to be a first-round draft pick. Now, Josh Jacobs, who was last year's Alabama's first-round draft pick at the running back position, was drafted by the Raiders, and he's doing really good for the Raiders. He was, I think, a 74 overall, so I bumped it down just a little bit. I have Najee at a 73, with Jerome Ford at a 66, and Brian Robinson behind him. Now, at the fullback position, we have Cameron Latou at a 62 overall. Now, this wide receiver core is insane. For a college wide receiver core, easily, I think, the best in the history of the sport. Jerry Jeudy, who's probably going to be a top 5 pick, and it's not that common that you see wide receivers get drafted in the top 5 of NFL drafts, and the Miami Dolphins are very likely to even draft him too. So Tua and Jerry Jeudy, from possibly going to Alabama to the same NFL team in a 1-year span, but he's a 78 overall. Henry Ruggs behind him. Once again, once he declares the draft, he'll probably be a first-round draft pick. He's probably a top 15 pick. Jalen Waddle, same thing for him. He's extremely young. I think he's either a redshirt freshman or maybe a sophomore. He's insane. He's going to be a top, first-round pick as well. And Devonta Smith, who a lot would say is the least talented of them all, just had 5 touchdown receptions in one game a few weeks ago. Actually, was the receiver to catch the game-winning touchdown pass in the national championship against Georgia. So it's just, this is wide receiver core, absolutely insane. Now, tight end Miller Forrestall at a 69 overall with Mr. Major Tennyson backing him up. Offensive line, I definitely downgraded quite a bit. So the only guys you'll see over 70 overall is guys that are projected to be first-round draft picks, such as Alex Leatherwood, left tackle with a 70 overall, left guard Evan Neal, I believe he's a rookie, a 6'7", 360-pound left guard, 63 overall. I said rookie, freshman. He's a freshman, you get it. Chris Owen, same thing with him. I believe he's a freshman as well, 66 overall. Right guard Landon Dickerson at a 64 overall. I believe he is a graduate transfer from Florida State. Right tackle, we have Jedrick Willis at a 67 overall. Now, on the defensive side of things, it's actually crazy how young this Alabama front seven is. Like, we all know Alabama's going to be losing a lot of players after the year. You have Tua's going to be gone, Najee Harris is going to be gone, a lot of the wide receivers are going to be gone. But at the same time, they have a lot of freaking freshmen playing, such as this guy, Mr. Justin Eboigbe, 62 overall. Defensive end on the right side, Raekwon Davis, another guy that's going to be a first-round draft pick this next draft. He's a 75 overall. Defensive tackle, DJ Dale, another freshman at 65 overall. On the linebacker core, Anthony Jennings, a redshirt senior at a 67 overall. He'll probably be like a 3rd, 4th, 5th round draft pick, so he's kind of a little bit lower at a 67 overall. Middle linebacker, now this was a tricky one, Dylan Moses. He's out for the entire year with an ACL injury, and he's projected to be a first-round draft pick. He would probably be a top 10 pick if it wasn't for the injury, but we bumped him down just a little bit to a 72 overall with Terrell Lewis backing him up. Right side, Christian Harris at a 64. Jalen Moody is 62. Now, in the secondary, we have Trevon Diggs, another probably a top 10 pick this upcoming draft, 77 overall. Mr. Patrick here also is going to probably be a first-round draft pick. Not this year, but next year because he's extremely young, 73 overall. Josh Jobe at a 67. And Jalen Armour Davis at a 65 overall. Free safety, another player that's probably going to be a first-round draft pick. This team genuinely has a legitimate chance to break the record for most first-round draft picks in an NFL draft this upcoming draft. It's insane. Xavier McKinney at a 73 overall will probably be a mid to late first-round selection. Maybe he'll boost his stock a little bit the rest of this year. And Daniel Wright at a 66 overall. Strong safety, we have Shaheem Carter, 69 overall. He's anywhere projected to be a late first, like a 3rd round pick, so he's a little bit lower than a 70 overall. We all know about the Alabama kickers. We have him listed as a 55 overall. I think that might be a little bit too high. And punter Mr. Skylar DeLong at a 67 overall. Now, as we jump into this ball game, dudes, I'm not going to be playing it. It's going to be CPU versus CPU, so we can legitimately see what Madden 20 thinks would happen in the game between the Dolphins and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Now, if you're just curious how the actual overall is in today's video. In the latest roster updates, Miami Dolphins went from a 63 overall to a 72. I don't know what they did to warrant a 72 overall rating, like almost a 10 overall jump, but they're 72, and going up against Alabama, Alabama is a 63 overall. So Alabama is a 10 overall underdog here, but can they still get it done and prove to the world that they could hang in there with an NFL team? Once again, in the comment section below, let me know your predictions for this game. With that said, let's get into the action. So starting things off here, Alabama gets the ball first. First play of the game, Alabama asserting their dominance. Najee Harris with a 9-yard carry to start the game, and next play action pass the tight end forestall. So Alabama in 2 plays, actually technically now 3 plays, have the ball at the 39-yard line. Take it down and forward. Plenty of time for 2 in the pocket. Delivers a dot to the sideline as Mr. Jerry Jeudy with the reception. Another first down, and the 2nd down and 5. Another draw play here. Najee Harris, another first down for Alabama. So just like that, already in the Miami Dolphins red zone. First and another carry for Najee Harris. Alabama's offensive line destroying that front 7 of the Miami Dolphins. 3rd down and goal. A few backwards plays, but not this one. That's Forrestall again. The tight end having a huge first drive of this ball game as Alabama goes down the field at ease against the Miami Dolphins and takes a 7-0 lead. Absolutely freaking mental, dudes. But the question is, can Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Dolphins answer quickly? 2nd down and 6. A pass to the tight end, Gesicki. The tight end's coming up big here in this first quarter, as quarter 1 ends with Alabama having a 7-0 lead. Now the running game getting going here for the Dolphins. That's Kenyon Drake for the first down at the 41-yard line. Clock ticking as it's already only 3 minutes left to go in the first half. A little misdirection here. Kenyon Drake, big carry, almost in the Alabama territory at the 26-yard line. 3rd down and 1. Have got to get this first down. The Dolphins do. A strike over the middle, and that's Gesicki. The tight ends both sharing touchdowns here in this first half, as the Dolphins, just as easily as Alabama, go down the field, score a touchdown, and notch things up here at 7. Now Alabama showing a little no huddle here with a minute left to go in the half. Tua, plenty of time in the pocket over the middle, and that's Mr. Henry Ruggs with the reception all the way down to the 4-yard line. Tua without an incompletion up to this point. 2nd and goal. A little play action pass. The Dolphins start off for the run, and that is the backup tight end here, making the reception. Mr. Tennyson with the catch. So 3 touchdown passes here in the first half, and that makes it 3 touchdown passes to tight ends here in today's ball game. So a ball game dominated by tight ends. 20 seconds left to go in the half. 42-yard line for the Dolphins, trying to get something here. It's a strike to the outside. That's Mr. Devontae Parker with the reception. So his 8 of 8 for Ryan Fitzpatrick, 100 yards. So neither quarterback has done an incompletion yet, but the Dolphins, look at them. Bunch of goddamn idiots, dude. Sitting around jerking each other off in the freaking huddle instead of lining up and going hurry up and kicking a field goal as the coach is like, oh god dang, I'm getting fired, we're losing to a college team. As at halftime, Dolphins could have got a field goal easily, but into the second half, the Dolphins trail a college team 7-14. Now into the second half, Dolphins got to get going quick. Play action pass, which has been successful all game. Gesicki again, dude. It's like tight ends are the new wide receivers, the new superstars of the league. First down and 10, next play, another strike over the middle. This is Devontae Parker. So, oh my, didn't even realize he had such a big play down to the 8-yard line. There's 4 minutes left to go in the third quarter, and neither quarterback has thrown an incompletion yet. Looks like the Dolphins here, second down and goal from the 2, have about 10 offensive linemen on the field. Little pitch here to Mr. Ballage, and that's going to be a tied ball game as the Dolphins do, although it's still extremely embarrassing for them, notch things up 14-all. So a few 3 and outs, a few stops by the defense, and the Dolphins get the ball back here with 3 minutes left to go in this ball game in the fourth quarter. They are held to a 3rd and 14 though. Ryan Fitzpatrick on the play action pass down the field. That's Mr. Shaheem Carter, the first turnover of the game, and that's actually the first freaking incompletion in the game. Comes all the way with 4 minutes left to go in the entire game. So both quarterbacks proven to be extremely accurate today, although Ryan Fitzpatrick going up against a college defense and Tua going up against NFL defense. Speaking of Tua, a dime slant pattern there. Mr. Henry Ruggs, he's 14 of 14, 155 yards, 2 touchdowns. But here we are, 3rd and 11. 2 minutes left to go. Alabama looks like they're going to settle for this field goal. Quick little run up the middle. Najee Harris picks up about 7. So can Alabama actually take the lead on the Miami Dolphins? 2 minutes to go with the field goal. And it's good. It's good. Not something you hear a lot from Alabama kickers, but they make this one as they do take a 17-14 lead over the Miami Dolphins with a minute 45 seconds left to go. Jakeem Grant, though, not going to take it all the way back, but takes it all the way to the 50-yard line, so about 20 yards shy of for sure field goal range. As second down and 2 from the 42. A minute 15 left in this one. Ryan Fitzpatrick, ton of time, little dump off over the middle. Kenyon Drake, first down. Now, right there in the outskirts of field goal range. Second down and 10, 45 seconds left to go. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 15 minutes in the pocket. I don't know what this man's doing. God dang moron here, dude. Literally, the O-line gave him 10 seconds in the pocket, and he still gets sacked. So 3rd down and 18, they need about 10 yards for a field goal with nice play call. Little bubble screen to Devontae Parker, not set up for a 4th down and 18 with 15 seconds to go. Need 18 yards to stay in this ball game. Ryan Fitzpatrick, once again, 20 seconds in the pocket, and he gets sacked by Musika. Literally the lowest overall player on the entire game. The 3rd string defensive tackle, a redshirt senior, makes the game-winning sack. And Alabama goes on to defeat the Miami Dolphins 17-14, and Brian Flores is like, God dang, dude, we actually do suck. Peace.